Hi everyone, John from LookSmart Home Inspections right here in New Jersey. And I want to talk to you guys briefly about your request letter that is sent by the attorney back to the seller for either repairs, corrections, remediations, or even credits, for that matter. And I find sometimes I get a hold of these letters and they're they're not good. They're not detailed enough. They're really a very, very poor quality. And the seller doesn't really understand what you're really asking for because they're non-specific. And what I want you guys to do as buyers in this real expensive real estate market is to really get a hold of that process. And when you're interviewing your attorney, let them know that you're going to be involved in that letter writing process because you're the one that's going to choose those items that you want repair, correction, remediation, or credits for. Listen, if you just leave it up to the attorney, you're going to have a problem because these attorneys are juggling a lot of cases, a lot of real estate transactions all at once. And they're honestly not taking their time to do a good job with these letters. And I say that really honestly because I've read these letters, and the ones I've read are just they're not specific enough, and they leave you as a buyer of real estate in a vulnerable position. And I know this because people sometimes hire me to go back to look at repairs or corrections from contractors from these letters. So you're sending this letter off to the seller. The seller is then having, XYZ, you correct it. I go back and I take a look. And what I see is something completely different than what I wrote in the home inspection report. I didn't say the left wall. What do you do? What are you saying? I didn't say, that column had to be replaced. You replaced the wrong column, right? The column that needed replacing was the column that was split, right? The mold was behind the beam, right? And things don't get done, or they get done in sort of a haphazard manner. So my advice to you guys is to make sure that that letter is excellent and detailed. And what I want my clients to do is actually use my terminology and my paragraphs from the home inspection report. So you can cut and paste from that report. And I think this is a great idea. If you guys want to send the entire report to the seller, that's fine. I don't have any problem with that. But if you're not going to ask for everything, right? In today's market, you're not really able to ask for 20 different corrections or items or credits back, right? So you're going to try to pick, maybe the 5 or 6 largest issues, structural issues, safety, environmental, things are really, high-end type of stuff. And I want you to take that from the home inspection report, and I want you to cut and paste that into a separate document to your attorney, right? This way the attorney knows, so he or she doesn't have to go through and locate it. It's right in front of them in a Word document, right? Here are my biggest concerns. Here are what I want to ask for credits for. And then, the amount of credit you're going to ask for, or if you're going to have the seller repair the items, then it should be specific enough so the seller understands what you're talking about. And if you have any questions, I really want you to talk to your home inspector, right? Home inspectors here in New Jersey, we do a good job. We're on top of our game. Most of us really, really care about the work that we do, right? I definitely care about my client even after the inspection is over. So I want you to have that relationship with that home inspector where you can call them after the home inspection for clarification on any of these issues. If you don't understand something, by all means, you need to ask the questions. This way you can make intelligent decisions about the home that you're purchasing. You're spending a lot of money here in New Jersey, and frankly, the market is not a great market. I don't like this market. I think that, for first-time buyers, it's very, very difficult, and it's challenging. So you must really get this correct. So you want the seller to be fixing really what needs to be fixed. And that is documented in the home inspection report. But sometimes I see the attorneys, they go off on some other thing, and I don't even understand why some of these things are actually in the letter, because that's not the main issues. If you don't know what the main issues are, you should be asking your home inspector what the main issues are. I mean, most of my clients have followed me around for 3 hours, so they know what the main issues are, right? You have to know, because I'm speaking to you about those issues. I'm speaking to you about the big issues and the small issues. So make sure that you do that. It's really, really important to understand that. And it's also very important to get a cursory understanding of homes. Like if you're a first-time buyer, I always tell people, you have to understand what the systems are in a house, how they work, what kind of heating, air conditioning you have, what kind of electrical you have in the house. Just, what are the basic components of a home, so you can talk intelligently with your home inspector and then talk intelligently with your, with the attorney to ask for these corrections. So that's really what I kind of want to bring to light. It's John from LookSmart Home Inspections right here in New Jersey, and I perform home inspections throughout the state of New Jersey. If you have any questions about anything, just don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.